Welcome back to the Miami Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Zalewski of Condo Vultures. Condo Vultures is a real estate brokerage as well as a consulting firm. So if you're looking for any kind of brokerage services and or consulting, whether it be expert witness or it's feasibility studies, feel free to reach out to us. And who knows, maybe somebody from my organization can help you out. So for this segment, we're going to focus on condos. This will be all condos in the city of Miami Beach. This is going to be old. It's going to be new. This will be pre-construction. This will be resales. This will be you name it. If it's a condo and it's in Miami Beach, we're going to talk about it in this particular category. And again, we're going to rely on statistics from the multiple listing service, which is the database used by people who are part of the club called the Realtor Association. So what do we got going on in the marketplace? Currently, there's just under 1,200 condos for sale in Miami Beach. 1,200 condos are for sale in Miami Beach. The average asking price per door, average asking price per unit, one and the same. It's going to come in just under $1.7 million a door, $1.7 million a door. A lot of people will get caught up on how much did I buy a place for? How much did you sell a place for? What did so-and-so pay for that particular unit? I want you to know that's the wrong approach to consider when you're looking at condominiums. It works with houses, but it doesn't necessarily work with condominiums. And why is that? Because condos are commodities. They are not works of art, which is what a house would be. So single family house is a work of art. Condo is a commodity. When you're dealing with commodities, you want to be able to compare things apples to apples. Think about gasoline. When you pull up to an intersection, you see 4 gas stations. Unless you have some sort of affiliation with a particular brand, chances are you're going for the cheapest price per gallon. But when you look at condos, you ought to be going price per square foot, not price per door. And what do I mean by that? Well, generally speaking, at condominium, the layouts of the units in a particular line are all going to be the same. What does that mean? That means the 01 line, the 02 line, the 03 line, the 08 line. The unit on the 9th floor is probably going to have the same layout as a unit on the 15th floor, as a unit on the 35th floor, as a unit on the 50th floor. The only time you might really get a variation is when you get high up or tall into the tower. Some of the penthouses, now they actually have lower penthouses, whatever the hell that means. But these penthouses will have some added bonuses, such as taller ceilings. But other than that, layout is all exactly the same. You're going to have the kitchen in the same place. You'll have the bedroom in the same place. You're going to have everything the same. So as a result of that, you can figure out pricing of a particular unit. You just have to see what everything else is trading for. Now, when we do consulting with developers who are looking to build condos and they want information on pricing, typically what we'll tell them is you want to charge a premium or discount by about let's call it an average of $10,000 a floor, and or $5,000 to $15,000 per floor. So as you go higher, add 10 grand a floor to that particular unit. As you go lower, take 10 grand off. Just generally speaking, some developers will work with that model. Some will not, but that just gives you a general sense as to how you look at condominiums. Now, let's contrast that with a single family house. Single family house is going to have a bunch of different variables that you would not find in the condo. For instance, what is the shape of the lot? What kind of trees are on the lot? What kind of shrubs are on the lot? How many stories is that particular house? What kind of material is used to build a house? How many bedrooms are there? How big is the yard? Is there a swimming pool? None of those things factor into a condo, which is why I would say look at it as a commodity. I look at it price per square foot versus a single family house, which is going to be a work of art. It's going to be unique, and you're going to have to make all kinds of changes and adjustments for the variables in order to get a good price on it. So condos are price per square foot. And what's going on with the price per square foot for condos in Miami Beach? Right now, the average asking price is $1,051 a square foot, $1,051 a square foot. And those condos that are on the market, they've been there an average of 143 days and counting, 143. If you convert that into months, 30 days in a month, that's going to come out to 4.8 months that these condos have been sitting on the market without getting a deal thus far, 4.8 months. Now, let's look at pending sales. Pending sales are properties that were put up for sale, and now they are under contract, and they're waiting to transact. Typically, a transaction will occur within about 30 to 60 days after the property is actually under contract, or i.e. pending. So that's important to keep in mind. So once it goes under contract, you're looking at 30 to 60 days for it to transact. What do we got going on in pending? We have 209 condos that are under contract in Miami Beach, 209. Average asking price of those condos when they went under contract, $1 million a door, $1 million a door. Price per square foot coming in at $764 a foot, $764 a foot. And those condos that are under contract and pending, remember they were listed, then they went pending. They've been there an average of 80 days converted into months. 30 days in a month, that's going to come up to 2.7 months that they've basically been in the process. Now, let's look at closed transactions. This will be 2022. This is going to be January through December of 2022 to give you an idea of sales. 3,100 condos traded in Miami Beach and 3,100. And the average price per door, $982,400 a door. $982,400 is what the condos traded for. $982,400 a door. Price per square foot, $704 a foot. $704 a foot. And number of days it took to list the property, go under contract, and ultimately transact, 92 days. 92 days. Now, this is where it gets sort of interesting. And by the way, 30 days in a month, so the 92-day period is going to work out to 3.1 months to do the entire transaction. Now, when you're looking at a condo and you're trying to get an idea of sentiment, what is the buyer's sentiment for the marketplace? One of the best ways to look at it is days on market. Days on market will reflect whether or not buyers are stepping forward, pulling the trigger, whether or not they're sitting on the sidelines. Keep in mind, interest rates have spiked from the beginning of 2022 to here we are in April of 2023. Federal funds rate went from 0 to 5%. In mortgage rates have basically gone from about 3% to over 6%, sometimes 7% for those ideal borrowers. So sentiment for buyers is really important, especially if you're looking to sell a property. So how do you gauge sentiment for buyers? Look at days on market. Days on market will reflect whether or not buyers are stepping up and trying to take stuff down, or whether or not they're sitting on the sidelines expecting some sort of price adjustment downward. And the best way to look at that is simply what's going on with condos in Miami Beach. Well, in 2022, it took 92 days, 3.1 months for the entire process from the point a seller put the property up on the market to the point it actually transacted and was funded, where the seller took the cash, packed their stuff, and left. 92 days. Now compare that to the properties that are listed for sale. Those condos in Miami Beach listed for sale today, they're sitting on the market 143 days, just languishing is on the market, a fruit that's on the vine that's basically just rotting, and to the point the seller decides, okay, maybe if I do want to sell, I'm going to need to adjust my pricing. And if I do, chances are I'm going to cut it downward. Why? Because a condo is a commodity. So let's take a look at the price difference between what the average asking price is and the average transaction price. I mentioned it before, but let's look at it percentage wise. Well, the average ask is $1.7 million a door in Miami Beach. But remember, in 2022, average condo traded for $982,400 a door, $982,400. That's about a 73% premium that today's sellers are asking for a condo in Miami Beach versus what they traded for in 2022. Now, what's the importance of this percentage, the 73% difference? Well, I would tell you based on experience, generally speaking, any seller who wants to do a deal is typically going to price their condo with maybe a 20% buffer or spread or vig on top of it. So typically when you're looking to take a run at a condo, and if you want to do a deal sooner rather than later, probably going to look for something that's priced, reasonably, that 20% over the average transaction price, or what it should be worth. And why would it be 20% over? Because typically a seller will look to negotiate. And if you negotiate, you tend to split the difference. So if you go 20% over, chances are you're going to cut a deal at 10% premium or VIG in order to get the seller out the door. So when I see a 73% spread or premium for condos, price per door in Miami Beach, that suggests to me that we got some very confident sellers. And based on look at days on market, we have some buyers that aren't necessarily playing ball thus far, but condos are based on price per square foot and not based on price per door. So let's take a look at price per square foot for a condo in Miami Beach. We're looking at about a 49% spread, where again, it should be 20% to signify or represent to the market that the seller wants to do a deal. The average asking price was $1,051 a square foot in Miami Beach for a condo. Average transaction price, $704. And that's 49%. Again, sending a sign to the marketplace. I don't want to do a deal. If you want my property, I have gold. You're going to have to pay me for it. So that's probably why you see the days on the market ticking upward. Now, let's take a look at sales pace, and let's look at months of supply to give us an idea of what the overall state of the market is for condos in Miami Beach. In order to get a sense of the supply of condos in Miami Beach, we're going to have to take a look at the sales pace. So in 2022, there were 3,100 condos that traded, 3,100. What I'm going to do is I'm going to divide that by 12 because there's 12 months in the year. And I'm going to come up with an average of 258 condos trading per month, 258. That is the velocity. That's the sales pace. Now, if I take that 258 that traded per month in 2022, if I divide that what's currently in the market, which is 1,200, I'm going to come up with 4.6 months of supply, 4.6 months of supply. Now, what is the significance of 4.6 months of supply? Well, equilibrium will be 6 months. Anything greater than 6 months suggests or says it is a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months says it is a seller's market. So based on the supply of 4.6 months of supply of condos in Miami Beach, that would tell you that this is a seller's market. However, I will tell you that the days on market, the number of days it's taking for anybody listing a property today and trying to go under contract, as it's ticking up, as it's effectively going to be double when it was in 2022. If you look at those condos that are currently on the market, if they were to go under contract, they're looking at 30 to 60 days to close. You're looking at twice as long to sell a condo in 2023 as it took in 2022. That would suggest to me that even though it is a seller's market based on what's the supply, the sentiment going forward is not a positive one. And therefore, the only way sellers are going to be able to get out of their properties is chances are they're going to have to cut the price. And we talked about what the premium was or the VIG was between the average asking price and the average transaction price. So from what I can see here, as we are in April, we are near the end of the winter buying season and we're heading into a time of year. By 9 a.m., it's 90-degree temperature, it's 90% humidity. And many of the people are up. If you're in New York or you're in the Hamptons or you're in Europe, you're not going to be in South Florida dealing with the heat and humidity. Chances are doing a deal in Miami Beach isn't going to be top notch for you. And therefore, as we go forward, I would expect to see the Miami Beach condo market move into a buyer's market sooner rather than later.